Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing an unboxing and a review of the brand new Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. So let's get started. This is the first deck or book or anything that I've ever pre-ordered. Normally I like to wait until it comes out and buy from the local bookstore. I like to support local companies and small businesses if I can. However, I wanted to pre-order this for two reasons. Firstly, I was really excited. I felt really connected to this deck, and secondly, I thought it'd be really nice to turn this into a fun and interesting video that's slightly different from some of the more serious or in-depth things that I've talked about so far and will continue to be talking about. So this is the parcel. A rather large parcel for quite a small package, which is slightly extreme. Normally Amazon will do those nice cardboard boxes that they put things in, so I'm a little bit gutted that they've used such a huge amount of plastic, but it does say there's information about recycling, so hopefully I can recycle this. If not, then I will definitely reuse this when I send things to customers or clients or friends or family members, so that's fine. So let's have a look inside. So here is the deck. It's quite large. It's a lot thicker than I thought it would be, but it's a bit shorter than I thought it would be. So I'm hoping that's a good sign because I have quite small hands. So if you're anything like me, sometimes I find shuffling large decks is really difficult. I have to basically stretch my hands or turn the cards the other way. And that's one of the reasons when I designed my own deck, the Chakra Self Love deck, that I actually made the deck quite small so that people with small hands and younger people such as children could actually benefit from the deck. So here is the deck, the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, with beautiful artwork by Annie Alone. If you're anything like me, I'm completely in love with Oracle decks. I've been using them since I was young. I think my mum bought me my first deck when I was about 11 or 12, and I think they're a really great source of comfort and confirmation that you should keep going and that you're on the right path and things will turn out okay. Whenever I go through a difficult period or a difficult time in my life, I will always consult either an oracle or a tarot deck. I am a bit of a collector. I am coming up to, this might be my 30th or 31st deck, don't judge me. It's one thing that I like, crystals and oracle decks. I've never chosen to train in oracle or tarot simply because I really like receiving it as a reading, and I almost don't want to be second guessing what the person will be saying to me. I know that I'm that kind of person who'll be sitting there thinking, oh, actually I would have interpreted it that way. So I think it's just nicer if I can just receive. And also because I really enjoy giving readings to friends, and therefore I don't need to train if I'm just giving a reading to a friend when they come over for dinner or what have you. If they're going through a difficult time, I'll pop over and take a deck with me and give them a reading. So I think it's nice to actually just receive these readings, and also it means that I can completely support any oracle or tarot readers out there. Whenever I go to a mind, body and spirit festival, I'll always make sure I see a tarot reader because I just know that they'll have something important for me, especially because I usually end up going when there's something going on in my life. So that's one of the reasons I'm not trained in it, but I do love collecting the decks and reading them for myself. And so let's have a look inside. So the box itself is matte and quite smooth, and as you can see it slots together quite nicely with the lid opening and closing. The back of the box has an example of 5 different cards from the deck, and it has a bit of an explanation about what the deck is about and who the artwork is by, which is Annie Alone. If you know her work, she is an incredible artist, and if you haven't heard of work or seen her decks, the Star Child Tarot or the Moon Child Tarot, then definitely check out her Instagram and check out her website because her work is incredible. So I'm really excited that Rebecca has worked with her again on this deck. So let's have a look inside. So I know that Rebecca chose this design with the lid so that you could use this to prop cards up. That could be a good thing. It might be a bit irritating. It depends on the space you have on your altar, but we'll have a go and see what it looks like. And I will also take some close-up photos of the deck so that you can see what they look like if you're thinking about buying this deck. So it's neatly packaged with the book at the back and the cards at the front. And if we take those out, And again, it's incredibly matte. It doesn't have any design along the edges of the cards. I do really like a bit of gold or silver foil down the edge, I must admit, so I'm a little bit gutted that they haven't put that on, but I think that they're perhaps trying to make it look a little bit different to other decks because it is meant to be different. It is the Starseed Oracle, so it shouldn't really be the same as everything else. So before we go through the deck, it might be worthwhile saying what is a starseed. If you've never heard of this term before, or if you are unsure if you are a starseed or not, then this deck could be really interesting for you. But a starseed is essentially a soul whose first incarnation was in another realm or on another planet. So for example, Andromeda, Sirius, Orion, Mintaka, and Pleiades and Arcturus are just some of the more commonly known starseeds, and it just means that their soul incarnated in that realm or that planet first and then came to Earth. So it means that Earth doesn't feel home to these people, to these souls. Sometimes they feel like they don't fit in, they feel alien. So the other term for this is starseed. So if you've ever felt like you have a strong longing for home and you don't belong and you don't fit in, then there is a possibility that you could well be a starseed. So you may wish to do some research on this, and I will be doing some videos later on which will be talking more about starseeds. So if you're interested, then do subscribe so that you can make sure you don't miss out on those videos. So let's have a look at the deck. Rebecca has put it in alphabetical order in terms of the deck when it first arrives, and also in terms of the guidebook, which is really useful. Sometimes when it's split into different aspects within the deck, it can be really difficult when you're flicking through trying to find it, especially if they don't have a contents page. I have one deck that doesn't have a contents page, and that's a nightmare for trying to find where it is. You're continuously flicking, and if you're giving a reading to a friend, then that can be a bit of a pain. So each card has a beautiful illustration by Daniel Knoll and the lovely design on the back as well. I will do some close-ups so you can see. But essentially going through, they're talking all about what it means to be a starseed, what it might feel like, what it could be for you. So let's have a look through and see exactly what we have. In the guidebook, we have the welcome to the deck, the ancient star origins, what is a starseed, your heart is a portal, Starseed Oracle attunement, reading for yourself and others, using the Oracle box as a technology, Starseed Oracle card spreads, and then all of the card messages and interpretations, as I said, and then you've got an about the author and about the illustrator. So the first thing that you should always do when you get a deck is sage it to clear it of any energies such as the delivery person, the person who's packaged it, the person who's printed it and put it into alphabetical order and put it into the box. Sage it, clear it, and then do the initiation, which will always be at the front of any Oracle book. So bear with me whilst I just white sage my deck. Okay, so once you have saged your deck, then you can read through the initiation to initiate the deck and connect it to your energy. It's important to try and touch every card of the deck as well when you first receive it, just to imprint your energy on it. And then of course, when you're giving a reading for somebody else, you want to tap the cards to knock your energy out and to call in to connect for their energy, for their reading, so the energy is actually for them. So let's have a look through the initiation. So I'm now going to read the initiation, but I'm going to keep that bit secret because that's something you need to enjoy personally when you get your own deck. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's have a look at some of the card spreads that is recommended in the book. So first one is the one card spread. Everybody knows this. It's when you just pull one card for a bit of guidance, maybe for that day or that week, or if you just feel like you're going through a bit of a difficult time and you just need a lift or a boost. The next spread is the 2 card spread, which is Soul Whispers. Then there's the Fated Life versus the Destiny Life 3 card spread. Then we have the Star Origins 5 card spread. And finally, we have the Heaven Heart, Earth Heart 6 card spread. Each of these card spreads is using the angled part of the box, the lid, and placing the cards within and around that space. So again, it's kind of using the box, which normally you don't do when you do a reading. So it's quite nice actually, not just to have it to keep them in, but also to use it for the reading. I also wanted to compare this to Rebecca's previous deck, Work Your Light Oracle. So if you don't have it, I have this one here as well. This is a ever so slightly larger box for the Starseed Oracle, and just slightly taller as well, but I think that's probably because it's got to fit the deck and the thicker book. There is a slightly thicker book. So let's just have a look inside the Work Your Light Oracle deck. So inside the back, equally beautiful. There's some lovely roses on the back of this one, and this one's more of like a cosmic landscape, which is what I'd expect to see in a Starseed book. The cards themselves are ever so slightly taller from the Starseed Oracle. So this is a Starseed Oracle. You can just see it's probably about 2mm different, which again might be why the box is a bit taller, but the actual stock itself feels exactly the same. So if you have the Work Your Light deck, or a friend does, and you're thinking about getting the Starseed Oracle, it does feel exactly the same to me, which is quite nice. And again, it is really matte, and it's got the rounded corners, which is really nice. It feels like there's fewer cards in this. Yes, so there's only 44 cards in the Work Your Light deck, whereas there's 53 in the Starseed Oracle. I can't pick them up. Whereas there's 53 in the Starseed Oracle. I have to be honest, I actually prefer the background on the Work Your Light deck. I feel like the colours are quite muted on the Starseed Oracle, and it kind of disappears slightly into the background a little bit, but I still love it. So that's the two decks side by side. They don't actually look as different as you'd expect them to. I will take some photos again for comparison for you. In terms of the boxes, the obvious difference is the lids, and of course the insides. It's slightly different. So inside the Work Your Light box, it says "You are the Oracle" with the triangle, which is something that Rebecca uses a lot as her symbol. Whereas inside the Starseed Oracle, it says "Your heart is a portal." And I suppose, if anything, the design of the box, if you look at it this way around, it kind of, you could almost pretend it's a bit like those glasses, those 3D glasses, you know, and it reminds me a little bit of when you watch Star Wars or Star Trek, probably more Star Trek, where they go into warp speed and they're like shooting through the cosmos. That's sort of what this feels like actually, when you're looking deep into the box and into the lid to look at the little message that's inside, but again with the triangle, which is Rebecca's kind of signature thing at the moment. So let's go ahead and do a reading. I think I'm going to set an intention that this reading is for anybody who watches this and it connects to an aspect of your life that you may need guidance in at the moment. And I'm going to shuffle the deck. Whenever I first get a deck, because it's been put in a precise order, it's really important to shuffle it really thoroughly. So I have my own weird little way of doing it, which is where I will place random cards into a pile of 3 or 4, and I will just move them around from all over, because otherwise you're not going to get a very accurate reading. If you don't shuffle thoroughly, and if you don't tap the energy out that belongs to someone else, if you don't sage it, and if you don't say the initiation, then the reading just won't be as accurate as it definitely could and should be for you. So it's worth your time and effort to do this as accurately as you can. So this is not how I shuffle normally. If you come for a reading with me, then this isn't how I shuffle. So let me just tune in. Okay, whenever I shuffle, I personally like to cut the deck with my left hand. This is the hand of destiny, if you like, and then put the bottom pile on the top. That's what I always go from. Okay, so let's pick a reading as well for everybody. I feel like we need more than one card. That's a bit boring, isn't it? I'm going to do the 3 card spread, which is the Fated Life versus Destiny Life. So we use the lid. I'll pop it here so you can sort of see it. And then we pick card 1 to go here, card 2 to go here, and then card 3 to go in the middle, which is almost like, you know, when you see people in films using playing cards to make towers. That's what I kind of feel like this is. Okay, so let's have a little look. This is what it looks like. Probably you can't see it as well as I can, so sorry about that. I will try and do a little close-up for you in a photo. So card 1 was the fated life. This is connected to the ego. And we have you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, and community. This is the card we've picked. So I will again do a close-up for you, don't worry. So let's have a look. So you are not alone says, the older the soul, the deeper the cave. Many star seeds and old souls enjoy their own company. That's true. Spending time alone can be comforting and necessary for their vitality, as it allows them to commune with their soul and fill up their energetic resources, especially if they have an underactive or open root chakra or find it hard being human. That's very true. Many starseeds find it more nourishing to retreat than spend their time in meaningless conversation or relationships. However, we must remember that we are not here to go about this life alone. Humans are pack animals, and we all need the love, company, and support of others, both emotionally and physically. So essentially this card is saying that it's really important for you to connect with other people, and that's definitely true for starseeds. Because they feel so alien and they feel like they don't fit in, they tend to retreat and hide away from the world because they feel like nobody understands them, and it's safer for them to be alone rather than being judged or picked on. And whilst there is obviously an element of safety and comfort and perhaps kind of illusory joy in that, we are here to integrate with people. Starseeds incarnate to help other people and to help earth souls to grow and evolve spiritually. You can't really do that if you're hiding away. You can't serve anyone if you're hiding away. So that's the first card for the ego side of it, which is believing that it's safer and better to be alone, basically, and asking you to come out of that cave and engage. So then we look at the next card, which is Destiny Life, the call of the soul. And the card we have is Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. Well, that definitely follows on from the first card. Even without looking at the definition, that is definitely saying, come out of that cave and then lead by example. So let's find that one. And it says, if you wait until the path is perfectly paved, you won't be forging your own path, and you'll likely not even take the first step. Don't let a small detail, like being unable to find someone to show you the way, be the reason you don't step forwards and lead. Let it be the reason that you do. The most courageous and needed leaders are the ones who don't wait for permission or until the morning they wake up feeling ready. They take a deep breath, put one foot in front of the other, and figure it out as they go. They don't wait for someone to lead them, they lead themselves. So yeah, this card is definitely calling for you to step forward and step up if you feel that connection to that starseed, but also if you feel like you aren't moving forwards, if you're here to be a catalyst, a change maker, to help change the world for the better, to bring a positive form of impact into the world, then this card is saying it's time to step up. It's great to look for other people to show you what to do. However, the only person who can really show you is your soul, is you. Take that leap of faith. Okay, and the final card that we have is the Empathic Starseed, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what is yours. So this kind of feels like don't take anyone else's stuff on. So this is the bridge, the leap, challenge, or decision to face, and the change or action you're being called to make. That definitely makes sense. It says to me already that it's about not absorbing other people's stuff. Because how can you lead if you keep absorbing everything that belongs to everyone else? You can't, because you're just so kind of ahead involved in everything. You need to remove yourself slightly and recognize what is yours, what is not yours, and how can you serve from what you've learned from what is not yours. Okay, so Empathic Starseed. Empathic Starseeds are here to shift the world through their physical presence alone. They don't need to do anything beyond being here. Thanks to their energetic change, their physical presence causes. Due to their highly sensitive nature, empathic starseeds can struggle with being on Earth and in a physical body. Many are prone to addiction and depression, or tend to mistake other people's feelings and moods for their own. Natural introverts, they tend to prefer spending time alone or in small groups. Crowds can be overwhelming for them. So the message from this card is very much about taking time for self-care. I interpreted that slightly differently, and again, that's the important part of these cards, is take what the person has written but also listen to your intuition. And it's basically saying spending time in your cave alone is okay if it's time for self-care and time for releasing what isn't yours, because then you're fully charged and you're able to connect with other people and lead. You can't lead if you're on an empty cup, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. Why do I keep saying that? You can't pour from an empty cup. Okay, like 5th time lucky with that one. And so you need to recharge your batteries so that you're able to lead. It's like that Energizer Bunny advert where the bunny is running that race against another brand and the other brand keeps falling and they need new batteries or a new person to step in. That's sort of a great example for life. Okay, so that was our reading from the deck today. I hope that that resonated with you on some level. Do let me know in the comments below. So I will make sure that I take some close-up photos for you and I'll insert those now. So my overall thoughts on the deck are that it's a very beautiful deck. The box is really nice. I'm looking forward to trying it out. It is a bit awkward when you have more than 2 cards to keep lifting to check what it is, but I guess that you may wish to just pick 1 or 2 cards and then pop those on your altar, which is over there, which is why I'm looking at it. You may wish to pop them on your altar, or I have a little message board that I pin my cards on, which I currently have some of the Work Your Light cards on, so I may pick some from this deck to replace those to see and bring in some new energies now that we're in a new year. So far from what I've seen of the deck and what I've read, I think that the messages are very accurate, but of course always leave room for your own interpretation and your own intuition. But 99% of the time I'd say that oracle decks are always correct. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and if you have any questions about the deck, then please do get in touch in the comments below, and I will also put a link to Danielle and Rebecca's websites in case you'd like to find out more about both of them. And I will see you in tomorrow's video, which is all about coming out of spiritual hiding. This is a really exciting video that I'm looking forward to sharing with you, so make sure that you tune in for that. Just simply click subscribe and then you'll never miss a video. See you tomorrow.